My name is Shyanne, and this is my story. So I grew up in North Dakota. I was born in Arizona, but we moved there. It was me and my mother and my 4 siblings. My mother suffered from alcoholism, and it just felt normal. And after growing up in that situation, I didn't realize what it was, but there was a lot of rejection and a lot of neglect that I had gone through. I was put into the Boys and Girls Ranch of North Dakota. It's an inpatient facility where young people go to stay and basically restabilize their life. And they are rehabilitated in whatever they need to be. Mine was because I was unruly. I didn't listen, and I made a lot of my own choices. But after being there for 5 short months, I was able to leave. I couldn't go back to North Dakota to stay with, or I couldn't go back to Bismarck to stay with my mom. I had to find a different placement, and the system, their choices primarily want to be back with family in any way possible, and I couldn't go back with my mom. I hadn't met my biological father yet, so I had family that lives here in Arizona, in Gilbert, my grandparents on my mother's side. I came and lived with them for about 8 months, and then I came back to North Dakota to live with my first foster family, and it was a perfect fit. It was my second summer being with them that we all had taken a mission trip to Guatemala, and I was so nervous because who goes into a third world country like that? But while we were there, we built homes for people. We got to serve the orphans and the malnourished children. We got to just share the word with people on the street, all the experiences that they live in, and they're the happiest people. And it was when I got back that I really realized that my passion for helping people wasn't mine, it was God's. And that's when I decided that my life was going to be His from there on out. I was invited to Wellspring by a friend, and she had brought me the first time. It was kind of our last option. We were looking at other churches, and she was kind of hands-off about it. She's like, well, I know this one church, it's in a high school, and I don't know if you're gonna like it, but we can go check it out. And so I was like, I am totally open to that. It was the summer of 2017, and the worship was amazing. I was connected to God, and the word was out of the word, and that was so important. The people there were so awesome, and the fact that they reach out to you right away, and the connection card. We have connection cards at any church, but this connection card, they said they prayed over them, and that got me too. So, but I joined a lot of the life groups at Wellspring, probably too many, but you never have too many. So I was in one on Tuesday nights. I met a family through there, Melena and John Fair, and they were just great people initially, and then fast forward a couple months and I'm living with them now, and it was crazy how God orchestrated it all, because it was a season in my life where I felt like I was being called out of the place I was at and into another, and I didn't know where it was, and they were looking previously actually to foster. It's ironic, and I was like, well, I'm your foster child anyway, and it was neat. So now God's love is something that I can absolutely see is greater than any of the neglect or any of the rejection that there was, because God is never going to reject us, no matter what we do or what we go through or the circumstances we're in. And that is just something we don't deserve, and I think that means the most. That means the most to me. God's love is greater than all of that.